Training the next generation is not a suggestion. It is a responsibility that demands action. The future does not raise itself. Values do not transfer automatically. Conviction does not appear by accident. If we step back from this responsibility, something else will step in to fill the space. Influence never takes a day off. It is shaping minds every hour, forming beliefs every moment, and directing decisions long before we even realize it. We must understand this clearly. Neutrality is not protection. Silence is not safety. If we do not intentionally teach truth, confusion will teach itself. If we do not define right and wrong with clarity, the culture will redefine it with convenience. And convenience has never produced courage. Responsibility means being proactive, not reactive. It means guiding before crisis strikes. It means having difficult conversations before mistakes are made. It means correcting with love rather than condemning with frustration. The time to build strength is not during the storm. It is before the clouds gather. This responsibility requires courage. It takes courage to stand against trends that contradict timeless principles. It takes courage to say no when the world says yes. It takes courage to hold the line when compromise would be easier. But courage is contagious. When young people see conviction modeled boldly, they gain the confidence to develop their own. Responsibility also demands consistency. One conversation cannot shape a destiny. One lecture cannot build a legacy. Training is a daily investment. It is steady guidance, patient correction, and repeated reinforcement of what matters most. Just as a foundation must be laid brick by brick, character must be built lesson by lesson. We cannot outsource this calling. Institutions can assist, communities can support, but the core responsibility rests with those who understand the weight of influence. Every word spoken, every boundary set, every principle upheld becomes part of the blueprint that will guide future decisions. And let this be understood. When we embrace this responsibility with seriousness and passion, we are not limiting the next generation. We are liberating them. Structure produces strength. Discipline produces freedom. Clear direction produces confident leaders. The world may compete for their attention, but it should never compete for their foundation. That foundation must be laid deliberately, firmly, and without apology. Because when responsibility is accepted, stability is created. And when stability is created, the next generation stands unshaken in a shaking world. And here, this clearly success without character is a collapse waiting to happen. Applause can lift a person high, but only integrity can keep them standing when the applause fades. We must teach the next generation that who they are matters more than what they achieve. Because titles can be taken, trophies can tarnish, platforms can disappear, but character endures. Talent is a gift, but character is a choice. Skill may impress people, but integrity earns their trust. And trust is the currency of lasting leadership. If a young person gains influence but loses honesty, they have not succeeded. They have failed at the foundation. Character is built in private long before it is tested in public. It is formed when no one is watching, when shortcuts are available, when compromise seems easier. It is the decision to tell the truth when a lie would be convenient. It is the discipline to prepare when others procrastinate. It is the courage to stand alone when the crowd chooses comfort. We must train them to understand that success is not measured only by achievement, but by alignment between belief and behavior, between conviction and conduct. A divided life cannot produce a stable future. When their words and actions agree, strength is born. Integrity will cost them something. It may cost popularity. It may cost quick advancement. It may cost temporary approval. But what it gives in return is far greater. It gives them self-respect, credibility, and the power to lead without fear of exposure. A person with character does not tremble under scrutiny because they have nothing to hide. Discipline is part of that character. Discipline teaches them to delay gratification, to choose long-term reward over short-term pleasure. It teaches them that greatness is not accidental, it is intentional. Every early morning, every extra effort, every commitment kept when it would be easier to quit is building internal strength. Courage is woven into character as well. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite it. When they know what they believe and why they believe it, they can walk into opposition without losing their balance. We must remind them that character is not old-fashioned. It is foundational. It is not restrictive. It is protective. It does not limit their potential. It secures it. Because when storms of pressure, temptation, and criticism come, and they will come, it will not be talent that holds them steady. It will be the unshakable strength of a well-formed character. And when character leads, success follows in its proper place not as a master, but as a servant to something far greater. And let me say this with conviction, what we model will matter more than what we mention. The next generation is not just listening to our words, they are studying our lives. They are watching how we respond under pressure. They are observing how we treat people who disagree with us. They are noticing whether our private behavior matches our public declarations. We can deliver powerful speeches, but if our actions contradict our message, the lesson they learn will not be the one we intended. Hypocrisy confuses. Consistency clarifies. When our walk aligns with our talk, credibility is established, and credibility is the foundation of influence. If we teach honesty, we must practice honesty, even when it is uncomfortable. If we teach discipline, we must demonstrate discipline, even when we are tired. If we teach respect, we must show respect even to those who may not return it. Because the example we set becomes the standard they adopt. Young minds are impressionable, but they are not foolish. They can sense authenticity. They can detect when something is real and when it is rehearsed. And what is real leaves a mark that lasts. When they see perseverance lived out, not just spoken about, they begin to understand what endurance truly looks like. When they witness forgiveness in action, they learn the power of grace. When they observe courage under criticism, they discover what strength truly means. Modeling requires humility. It requires admitting mistakes instead of hiding them. There is power in saying, "I was wrong." There is strength in taking responsibility. When they see accountability demonstrated, they learn that failure is not fatal. It is formative when handled with integrity. Consistency builds trust over time. It is not dramatic moments that shape a legacy. It is daily decisions repeated faithfully. A calm response instead of anger. A promise kept instead of forgotten. A commitment honored instead of abandoned. These small acts accumulate into a powerful testimony. We cannot expect them to rise above standards we ourselves refuse to meet. Leadership by example is not optional. It is essential. The light we shine becomes the path they follow. If that light flickers with inconsistency, their direction becomes uncertain. But when that light burns steadily with conviction and authenticity, it gives them confidence to walk boldly forward. And when example and instruction move together in unity, the impact multiplies. Words plant the seed, but example waters it. And watered seeds grow strong roots that withstand the winds of doubt and the storms of opposition. We must understand something clearly. If we only prepare the next generation for comfort, life will shock them. The real world does not bend to convenience. It tests resolve. It challenges beliefs. It applies pressure without warning. And if they have never been trained to endure, they will mistake pressure for defeat. Adversity is not an enemy, it is an instructor. Struggle is not a curse. It is a classroom. When young people face difficulty and are taught how to navigate it with courage instead of panic, something powerful is formed within them. Resilience is born in resistance. We cannot remove every obstacle from their path. In fact, removing every obstacle may weaken them. Strength is developed by lifting weight, not avoiding it. Patience is developed by waiting, not demanding. Wisdom is developed by experience, not isolation. If we shield them from every hardship, we rob them of the opportunity to grow stronger. They must learn that failure is not final. A mistake does not define their destiny. A setback is not a signal to surrender. It is an invitation to rise again with greater understanding. The difference between those who quit and those who conquer is not talent. It is endurance. When criticism comes, and it will come, they must not crumble. When disappointment strikes, and it will strike, they must not retreat. They must be trained to stand steady when emotions run high and to think clearly when circumstances are unclear. That kind of stability does not appear overnight. It is cultivated through guidance, correction, and encouragement during smaller trials so they are ready for larger ones. We must teach them how to respond under pressure, not with anger, but with control, not with fear, but with faith, not with bitterness, but with maturity, because pressure reveals what preparation has built. If preparation has been shallow, cracks will show. But if preparation has been deep, strength will rise. Comfort may feel kind in the moment, but resilience is kind for a lifetime. A generation that knows how to endure cannot be easily broken. A generation that understands perseverance cannot be easily discouraged. They become steady in crisis, calm in chaos, and confident in uncertainty. And when they are trained this way, when they understand that storms do not last forever, and that character is forged in fire, they will not run from difficulty. They will face it, they will grow through it, and they will emerge stronger, wiser, and unshaken by the very pressures that were meant to stop them. And above all, we must plant vision deep within their hearts, because without vision, direction fades, and without direction, potential is wasted. A young person who does not understand their purpose will drift wherever the current is strongest. But when purpose takes root, it anchors the soul and steadies the steps. Vision gives meaning to discipline. It gives energy to perseverance. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary determination. When they know why they are striving, they will not quit when the road becomes steep. Purpose turns obstacles into stepping stones and delays into preparation. We must speak identity into them before the world attempts to label them. If we do not tell them who they are, someone else will tell them who they are not. They must know they are valuable, capable, and created with intention. Confidence does not come from comparison, it comes from clarity. When they understand their worth, they stop chasing approval and start pursuing excellence. Planting vision requires more than encouragement. It requires guidance. We help them discover their strengths. We help them refine their gifts. We challenge them to think beyond immediate gratification and to see a future worth building. When they begin to see beyond today, their decisions change. Short-term temptation loses its power when long-term purpose becomes clear. We must also teach them that purpose is not about popularity, it is about impact. The goal is not to be known by everyone, it is to make a difference somewhere. True fulfillment is not found in applause but in contribution. When they grasp that their life is meant to serve a greater good, responsibility becomes a privilege rather than a burden. Vision must be nurtured consistently. Doubt will attempt to cloud it. Disappointment will attempt to dim it. Criticism will attempt to question it. But when vision has been planted firmly and watered faithfully, it cannot be easily uprooted. It grows stronger with each challenge, and when purpose and training move together, something remarkable happens. Focus sharpens, confidence rises, determination strengthens. They begin to walk with direction instead of wandering aimlessly. They rise above distraction because they are committed to destination. A generation with clear purpose is not easily manipulated. They are not tossed by every trend or shaken by every opinion. They stand firm because they know where they are going. And when young men and women walk with that kind of clarity, anchored in identity, fueled by vision, driven by purpose, they do not merely participate in the future, they shape it. And so the responsibility stands before us with unmistakable urgency. The future is not some distant reality waiting on a calendar page. It is forming right now in the hearts and minds of the next generation. Every lesson we teach, every value we demonstrate, every boundary we establish, every word of encouragement we speak is shaping the leaders, thinkers, builders, and voices of tomorrow. We cannot afford to be passive. We cannot afford to assume someone else will step in. The call to train, to guide, to correct, to inspire is ours. And when we embrace it with courage and consistency, we are not merely raising children. We are building legacies. The next generation does not need more noise. They need clarity. They do not need more comfort. They need conviction. They do not need more popularity. They need purpose. And when we give them that foundation, when we anchor them in character, strengthen them through challenge, lead them by example, and fill them with vision, they will rise stronger than the pressures that surround them. History will one day reflect the investment we make today. It will reveal whether we chose convenience or commitment, silence or guidance, hesitation or leadership. Let it be said that we did not shrink from the task. Let it be said that we stood firm, trained faithfully, and believed boldly in those coming behind us. Because when the next generation is properly trained, they will not simply inherit the future. They will transform it with strength, integrity, and unwavering purpose.